All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Top Performers and Virtual Top Performers, and this is going to be just an awesome session. Again, you're going to really enjoy this. And so just sit back, relax, just open up and breathe in deeply. Breath is spirit in the Bible, that, to breathe in and breathe in spirit and to just relax and be at ease and be comfortable. I'm going to be sharing with you some incredible things that maybe weren't very clear to you about life and how it works. And also I'm going to give you another process and technique that you'll be using every month in order to become more deliberate. And so, if we don't prioritize our life, someone else will. And I'm sure you've all experienced that, where you end up kind of thinking, hey, I'm on somebody else's, wagon here, and or train or jet or whatever, and it's not yours. And so by the end of today, you're going to really have a handle on how to even more effectively be a deliberate creator and more effectively manage your life. And so it's going to be a fun time. Just sit back. We're going to be using some forms that I ask you to print out. If you don't have them, then just write it down on a piece of paper. But it's critical for you to write down the things that I'm going to share with you today. That remember, our thoughts create everything. It starts the whole process of creation. And so by our thoughts creating that, for us to be clear with our thoughts, it is for us to write down. It's the most effective way to get clear on what we want. Before we started this process, that you were not as clear, and you're going to just become clearer and clearer on the things that you desire. And as you ask your source, your full intention that knows your full intention on what you want, you're going to get to understand and know more and more of what you want, and then you're going to allow source to bring it to you. Because remember, we don't do the how. We're just here in order to identify, sift through the contrast of this perfect planet Earth and identify the things that we want and the things we don't want, and those things that we don't want birth those desires of what we do want, and then we allow our source to do it. So you guys have had some amazing, amazing results. That we have all kinds of new referral partners, new referrals. Literally, you have created millions of dollars of incremental real estate that you otherwise probably wouldn't have had. And it's all because of your intention and for you to just start allowing and understanding on how life works. Specifically, I'll bring up that Paula and I were talking earlier, and she gave me permission to share with you. But this is just the amazing things that can happen when you allow it to. And so she got two buyers, and the way she stated it, two buyers out of the blue. And out of the blue means that she allowed a source to give her what she wanted. Most of us haven't given ourselves permission to give ourselves what we want. And then she did it through referral partners too, and that's where they came from. And she got a hold of two more ranches, and if you recall last week, it was a couple $1 million worth of business on ranches. And then she had sold 2 lots, and that finished up a total of 20 lots to sell. Actually, she sold 4 lots, because she remembered that today she sold 2 more. So she had 2 yesterday and 2 today. And so just amazing things. But every one of you, it isn't because Paula's lucky, because she worked hard, because she's got some advantage, because she inherited something, that none of those things. It's simply that she was very easy. She just said, hey, I'm just vibrating high, I'm feeling good, and just listening to her voice this morning, you can hear it. And so the most important thing that I want each one of you to do is to feel good right now. And you have the power to do that. And when you feel good right now, all the things that you desire will come to you in perfect portions and perfect timing. And so you just need to believe that, okay? And so our agenda is we're going to talk about the 3 principles or laws of life. And this is going to help this is really going to be an enlightening session for you. And you're going to really have some clarity on how life works and how you can make life work even better for you. So you're going to understand these 3 principles of life. Then we're going to go into this technique I shared with you that, we already are doing the Joy Shop, and that every day in the morning, that is critical. That is where you create your life. And it's where you read that Joy Shop, just get to a good feeling place. And I don't care if you read 1 page, 1 sentence, or all the pages. The point is to get into it's a shortcut to all of your desires, is to get to a place where you feel good, and then to be able to start writing down after you feel good. That's the shortcut to feel good, because you raise your point of attraction, and there are cooperative components that are there waiting for you depending on how good you feel about subjects that you'll then be able to reach for the next better feeling thought that will give you just amazing, incredible things. I don't think I shared with you guys, but about 2.5 weeks ago, I ended up in the emergency room, and I had, of all things, I never heard of it before, it was called a belly button hernia. Now, most people have a hernia that's kind of on each side, by their tailbone, if you will, in the front, that, on each side, that sometimes that the intestines come out. So I had been with you 2 weeks ago, and that next day I was in the emergency room. That Saturday I had emergency, if you will, operation on a belly button hernia. And one person asked me, why did I create that? Because remember, we create everything in our life, okay? You got to take credit for everything, and that includes some of the stuff that you think wasn't good. But when you recognize it, everything is for good. And so so I have this operation, and I was asked, why did I create this belly button hernia? Well, I found out, my wife Sharon researched it, and she found out that that usually this belly button hernia occurs in babies. And so I thought to myself, this is so funny, because, every day in the morning, I say to myself, I'm getting younger and younger every day, and hell, now I'm a little baby. And so I'm getting symptoms as an infant. And and it was just wonderful on how I was able to grow and birth new ideas of what I didn't want. And so I'll tell you, I probably, before this whole operation and everything, I was probably feeling like I'd probably live a long, healthy, prosperous life till 90. And now I feel like, I think that number's more like 120. And I just feel so good. And I just went, in fact, this morning, I just got my stitches out from the outside. They got inside stitches and then outside. And it's like, this is just so great. It bursts so many desires. I mean, I have this deep, powerful wanting to be healthy and to be younger and feel virile and filled with vitality and all those things that just coming to me, and it made me embrace life too, on just how much I love life and how grateful, how much I appreciate my good health. And so, so be thinking about that, for you on that. Wow, you can really create this life now, and that anything that happens to us, any contrast that we think isn't working on our behalf, it really is. And like this that happened with me, this really helped me in order to increase my health. And increase that desire. And see, no matter what belief you have, and a lot of us, we've talked beliefs, and a lot of us have beliefs that have prevented us from being who we really are, and who we are as a leading edge creator, which is one of the 3 principles. And so for us to really start embracing on that, wow, I can really be this, and if I have beliefs that don't align with what I desire, if my desire is powerful enough, and you may want to write this down, if my desire is powerful enough and I have enough energy behind that, it can overcome any belief and I can manifest it in my life. So you don't have to be too concerned about your beliefs per se, and what I want you to do is just be easy with your beliefs. So we're going to go into prioritizing our lives, monthly planning, and that's going to be a lot of hands-on play by you as you're going to just start creating your life the way you want it. And you're going to create at this time for the end of May, so for the next couple of weeks, on how you want it to be. And then we're going to, part of that is to look at our mission and purpose, our overall objective of what do we want to be right now. And that's an ever-changing, that'll change maybe in a week, maybe in a year, but you'll see that you'll continue to evolve and create more. You are here to expand all that is to more thought, taking thought beyond where it is, taking feelings beyond where it is, and so this will be part of that process on doing that. We'll then look at the different areas in your life on the planning, and then finally on how to prioritize that and to look at all of those things that you desire and then to prioritize that. So with that, that's our agenda. Any questions, comments before we get into it? All right, you're going to love it. And here we go. That 3 principles and beliefs and knowings of life that occur. And so you're starting to begin to understand, and really this is just going to, as you listen to this, as you review all of this information, you know, we're in week 4, we just one more week, and next week is just a wild week because that'll put it all together and you'll really understand on this emotion and this energy that you create and the scale of that energy. And so the number one thing that you need to understand to make life work for you the way you want is you're it. You're the leading edge creator. Before you went through this process that you weren't as deliberate leading edge creator because we're creating all the time, but typically by default, and we get life by default, but we are creating, and this process will help you, and you know, together just all of us are expanding and becoming these leading edge creators. So what does that mean as far as what you've been brought up and your beliefs? That, you know, most of us have been taught that we were born sinners, and that you know, we're not worthy. Children should be seen and not heard. You're not supposed to talk to strangers. That you're going to have to work hard. That life is tough. You never know, something out of left field will come, and nothing out of left field. And I want to give you just this knowing and to embrace this, that nothing comes to you, okay? Everything comes from you. And so for you to embrace and start really thinking about, yeah, I just love the fact that I'm this leading edge creator and I create everything in my life. And some of you might have a little resistance still to that and say, well, I didn't create this or I didn't create that, whatever. And the fact is that we did, because of these old beliefs that are in there, and that's why it's so critical to make sure that you're doing your joy shop every morning to overcome any belief, and then doing this monthly planning that we're going to be talking about. So you're a leading edge creator, and just enjoy that, love that, and now ask for, and I would write this down, is that you want to ask for your imagination to expand. You know, thoughts are the most powerful thing in the world, and they're everything that it starts everything to create. And you want to expand your imagination to think beyond where you have thought before. And when you do, you'll just be reaching for more things. And what are those more things? Deeper and more meaningful relationships with people. Just start dreaming. You know, this is about, yeah, let's really dream, and let's fix that dream machine of ours. And I'm telling you that most of you don't have as many dreams because you said, you know, I'm not going to dream because they didn't come true. But you're understanding now the formula to make your dreams come true. And so, just think beyond on where your business is currently and think beyond on where you want your business to be. Do you want 6 figures? Can you imagine right now having 7 figures, which means making over $1 million per month? I have agents that are doing that when I first met with them, they weren't doing anything close to that. They weren't making even a 6-figure income. Most of those agents, in fact, were making between $20,000 and $60,000 a year. And so you just know that you're the leading edge creator and you can create that and be easy on yourself. Just know, that it's not that, wow, this month necessarily you're going to be earning $100,000, but I want you to just go a little bit more and just realize that, yeah, it's just getting better and better. And that's where I'm after. But if you don't have that point that you want on what you're after, you'll never get there. So dream and then put all your faith in God and knowing that God is going to take you to what you want. It's just like with those of you that have children, you want to give everything to your children. Well, so does your source. And so this is how to do it is you got to ask for what you want. And I want you to start dreaming big. Okay? The second law is to recognize that only well-being flows to you. And so what does that mean? That means that you are literally an extension of source energy. And source energy is flowing, let's use a kind of a computer, new technology word, is streaming to you. So you need to know and recognize that source is streaming to me all the time. But I am the one that has the power. I got the throttle, if you will. Imagine you driving the car, that you driving the car in life, you're on the steering wheel and you're directing where you want it to go, but you're not the accelerator. God's the accelerator, the source energy that is flowing to you, and that's why things are created out of the blue. Cooperative components surround your thought, and then you all of a sudden start attracting out of the blue things like referral partners, like referrals, like clients, like easy closings, like deep meaningful relationships, like good health, that all of those things are coming to you. But you also, so you don't have the accelerator, but you drive it on where you want to go, okay? But you can put the brakes on. In fact, some of us have put the emergency brake on. And by our resistant thoughts saying, hey, I had a terrible upbringing, or wow, this is just not working for me, or it's a bad economy, or whatever, which some people are still saying it's a bad economy. It's the strongest economy in the history of the world. That, the stock market is higher than it's ever will. And it continually always goes up, that stock market. Procter & Gamble stock, for example, 80 years ago, if you put $10,000, it's the second highest performing stock, along with American funds. If you put $10,000 in, that $10,000 now would be worth $72 million. That things are just getting better and better. But if you're looking at every day it going up and down or whatever, but when you start realizing that the tendency of everything is well-being flowing, everything is getting better and better. And so this power, this energy that you just are getting into the flow now with all of this fun and exciting things that are happening in your life. And I've heard from most of you, and everything is, wow, I've gotten this out of the blue, I've gotten that out of the blue, and that's because you've allowed it. And what have you allowed? You've allowed the well-being that flows to you and through you. You are streaming. You are part of energy. You come as an extension of energy, of source energy, and that's flowing through you. So that's why when you cut your finger, and if you read my encouragement this week, the example of when you cut the finger, who does the healing? Who healed me after my operation, if you will? It's that good well-being, that source energy that heals. So you can see it in a cut finger, but you can also see it in your life experience as you continue to think about this and knowing that you're the leading edge creator, that there's only well-being that flows, and that this third law is, it's also called the law of attraction, is cooperative components rendezvous with your thoughts. The kicker of that is there's no judgment in this. Do not judge, okay? That when you have cooperative components that, and you're thinking about the things you don't like, and you're thinking about, let's say your right knee is hurting, that if you continue to think about your right knee hurting, cooperative components are going to come, and it's going to make your left knee hurt. And it's going to make that right knee worse. And so what I want, so for you to have this focus on, I can't be looking at what is, that I'm going to look at what will be or what is working. And so in that easy example, that I'm going to look at my left knee. That, see, you could right now tell me examples about what's working in your business and what's not. And I'm asking you to stop thinking about what's not working in your business, in your life, in your relationships, in your health, whatever, and I want you to start looking at what is working. So you are so loved, you are so supported, and all you have to do is allow this well-being to flow through you, and cooperative components, infinite intelligence, if you will come and rally around you. You have a whole cadre of these helpers that will help you to become, to be, do, and have everything that you want. So those are three big ones. I'd like you to make sure that you write those down, because it is incredible. All you need to know about life is those three, and then using some of my techniques like the Joy Shop, and then the this monthly planning that we're going to do, that it'll just help you to be a leading edge creator. It'll help you to be in a state of allowing, or well-being flows to you. And then always cooperative components are rendezvousing by your thought. And so it is to raise that thought beyond where you have had it before, and you're going to have a blissful life. I think I shared with you last week, like 2 weeks ago, I was one of my mentees, people that I coach, texted me, and they said, I don't think it can get any better than this. I feel so good. My business is so thriving, literally millions of dollars of business, that and all this money is flowing, and relationships are coming, and it's just awesome. This person, and I don't think it gets any better than that. And I said, don't say that. That it can get better, that you just haven't had your imagination get better. And so I want all of us now to just start thinking about expanding our imagination on how much better our lives are getting. And the way to do that is to look at what is working, what do you like, what pleases you, and you'll see that you're going to rise like a cork. You've been holding down that cork in the water, and now you just let go of that cork and let it float right to the top of the stream, and it will take you downstream. It's the stream of abundance. It'll take you downstream to where all of your desires are, and more desires that are beyond your current comprehension. And that's where it says your cup shall overflow. This is how your cup overfloweth. And when I was speaking with Paula before we started here, that her cup overfloweth. Okay, and it's just like, this is how it works. I get this. I feel this. And it just continued to think about how things are working, and in whatever areas, because in every area of your life, something is working. And that you have the power to overcome any circumstance, anything any condition that you have, any relationship, that you have the power in order to overcome it. That's the amazing leading edge creator that you are. And you're starting to show and prove it to yourself, and see, as you thrive, and as some people say, oh, I teach selfishness, you bet. Because you can't get into anybody else's vibration. You can't get into anybody's head. You can't do any of that. That it is you, and only you, that you can control. And if you control and are in a state of feeling good, As easy as that, that when you're feeling good and thinking about the things that are working and thinking about what you desire and expanding your thoughts and reaching for that next thought, that as you thrive, the whole world's going to thrive. Everybody's going to thrive. You know, with Paula, she's inspiring to me. Okay, and that she's inspired to others, to hopefully to you too, and that you're inspiring to yourself, that you are worthy. You were born worthy. So I want you to love yourself. I want you to, you know, if you would just sit around and start and be thinking about how worthy you are and how awesome you are, that, you know, you've created children, you've created business. I mean, you've just created amazing, amazing things, and that you can create even more. And so those are the three principles and beliefs and knowings of life. If you just believe in that and let go of all the other beliefs that you have, and again, I don't fight against anything, that I'm for everything that I want, and that way it'll support the whole world. That you have the power to cast peace on the whole world. You have the power to cast love on the whole world, but more importantly, where it all starts, is you have the power to cast love and peace on you, on all your loved ones, on all your clients, on your city, and then on the world. And so it's all about you. Literally, the universe goes around you and is just waiting there, beckoning for your first call, whatever you call forth, that it's going to be there every time. And you can count on these three principles being there every time, and now you can start using it to your advantage. So how grand is that? So we're going to look at prioritizing your life now. And so we're going to move from the three principles of life. And to know those three principles is basically the core of what you need to understand in order to make life work for you. And now we're going to get into prioritizing our life. And so each month that I would like you to complete monthly planning. And I will share with you that here typically is what happens is that and this is really kind of back to the leading edge creator, is that within us, we all have a thermometer, if you will. And because of that, that we only can reach a certain level, and then our beliefs cut us off from having more, being more, doing more. And so it's sometimes called a set point within us, and it's because of our beliefs. And I want you to right now call forth and say that my thermometer is raising now. In fact, I'm going to blow the cap off of my thermometer, and I'm going to just have it spray right out of me to infinite of all that I want to be, do, and have, and then I'm not going to have the thermometer. But let me share with you on people's thermometer that I experience often. And that is when they go through top performers, they create amazing things. And they get to a point, so I'll give you an example of, I have an agent that got to a point that earned more money in a month. They went through top performers and they started turning around their whole business and their life. And they then did one-on-one coaching with my platinum coaching that I have. And within 3 months, they earned in 1 month more money than they ever had in a whole year, okay? And then after that, they kind of stopped meeting with me and stopped doing stuff, and they had hit that thermometer, that high point of their thermometer. They could only handle that much money. And so they basically just went back to where they were, and they won't get going again until, you know, probably a year from now, because they have this thermometer in there, within them. And so we all have that thermometer, but the good news is that you can just blow that thermometer right off the top. And there is no set point. There's an infinite set point for you, and you now call that forth, and you say, I'm going to just allow my imagination to expand. I'm going to allow the good life for me. And I can give you all kinds of examples of where people, they reach a certain level and then they just go right back down to where they are. And so one of the techniques, the number one top thing is, in my opinion, after top performers, is that you have gotten your ruts out of the old thinking. You've started new thinking. And to continue to have that happen is my platinum coaching. But here's another technique, is this monthly planning. And so it's the most productive time in your month, other than, if you will, the joy shop, as far as the daily planning and pre-paving your day and writing out your desires and writing out what you appreciate, that this typically takes 2 hours. And it's the most productive 2 hours that you can take because, for example, the rest of May 2014, you're never going to get again. June 2014, you are never going to get June 2014 again. So this is a process to help you make the most of it and make it the way you want it. Call forth the way that you want it. So again, it takes 2 hours per month getting it the way you want it. And you are now pre-paving your day with the joy shot, and now your month, and you only get it once. So we're going to do kind of a practice, if you will, of an initial pilot of how to do this for the rest of May. And then I would strongly suggest that you plan now at the end of the month, 2 hours. And you can do that right now if you have your time management system. And I have an awesome time management system that'll save you like 3 weeks per year, and that comes with my platinum coaching. But if you have it right now, that to write down at the end of May 2 hours where I want to plan my month. I want to plan my life. I want to pre-pave the way I want June 2014, because I'm only getting it once. So the first one is your mission and purpose. So you'll see, if you have that page out, it says at the top, mission and purpose, and then personal goals to focus on this month, etc. And so under mission and purpose, then I want you to write. So get out a pen right now, and I want you to become very deliberate in this, that this is where you're going to be hands-on, and you're going to start creating it the way you want it. Now, let me share with you, before you write, what your mission and purpose is, kind of what that is and how that's positioned. Now, this is monthly planning, and so your mission and purpose could be for your month, but I'd like you to expand and go out on what do you want to do. So, overall, like you can even have it when you're in your last day, that what do you want to say that you did, that you became, that you had with relationships or whatever. And so let me give you a few examples that I did this, probably 20 years ago, that I wanted to be the best father, the best husband. I wanted to have $1 million business. I wanted to live in $1 million house. I wanted to drive fancy cars, and I love that, and that was all fun. And that's what I wanted about 20 years ago. And I got every one of those things. I taught my children 2 things. You may want to write this down, because remember, they're leading edge creators too, and they really don't need your help per se. They need your unconditional love. And those are one of the 2 things that I showed my children, is that I shared with them that they could be, do, and have anything that they wanted. And then number 2, I showed them unconditional love. So no matter how old your children are, that you can do this starting right now. And so I know how much you love your children, and that has gone beyond where feelings have been before. And now to really be able to say, yes, I'm going to show unconditional love, and I'm going to show my children to understand that they can be, do, and have anything and everything that they want. And the way to do that, my friends, is for you to be it. And so you start showing on how you can be, do, and have everything that you want, and they will replicate you. I'm sharing with you that it is uh, this is a time for you to be able to really just expand everybody, have everybody around you thrive as you're in the state now of thriving. And so those two things, but now mission and purpose. Right now, my mission and purpose, one of the kind of easy ones and fun ones that I like, is I just want to feel good. And when I feel good, I'm aligned with my source and I thrive, and then everybody else around me thrive. I can't tell you on how everything just flows so easily. The traffic flows, the parking spots, the easy closed parking spots are there. On how my health, like I just this morning I shared with you, I had this checkup, and they go, "You're just tremendously healthy. You know, you're amazingly healthy," and so I just love that and we just had one of our people, by the way, Denise, that she just had to leave to a listing that she has. You know, you guys are just so remarkable. You're just creating so much that it's just great, and she'll listen to this afterwards. But you're here right now, and for you to just get into this, and I right now want you to write down on this sheet of paper, what's your mission and purpose? So write it the way you want it, that I want to be a loving, kind person, that I want to live a long, happy, healthy, and prosperous life. Like, that's a great mission and purpose. Because again, when you have all that, then you're going to be able to build up everybody else, and you're going to be the light of the world, if you will, and people are going to say, wow, look at, you know, that person, look at Larry and how he is, look at how Margene and how she is, and Stephen and Paula and Denise and Alice, and that, you know, that's who you are, that you start becoming who you want to be, and you'll be an inspiration to everyone, to your children, to your lover, to your clients, to everyone. So write that down, your mission and purpose. Again, it shouldn't necessarily be this month, even though this is monthly planning, but it helps you every month to write it down. And what you'll see is you'll start evolving that mission and purpose as you have more clarity of what you truly want. I'm actually going into my what I call my success planner. And for my monthly planning, I have to live a happy, long, prosperous, and healthy life, and then to come from heart and my gifts, and give my gifts of service and nurturing to other people. And then, of course, to feel good. And so you can write a couple sentences in there, whatever makes you feel good, about what do I want to be, do, and have. Okay? So write that down. And now I want to get into, again, this is all monthly planning now. It takes your investment of about 2 hours, and it's the most important investment you can have. And this now looks at your personal goals to focus on this month. And so the first one is family and home. So again, we're using just the rest of May, so, you know, just for a couple of weeks here. But what do you want to do? You know, that, yes, I'm going to show unconditional love to my children. They can be, do, and have whatever they want to do, and they'll be just fine. They're leading edge creators also. And, or it might be just that, you know, I want to do something special for my significant other, that, for my spouse, you know, whatever, whoever, that, you know, maybe you want to just write a note to a family member who has really meant a lot to you, and you've thought about them and wanted to thank them. Maybe this is the time I'm going to write that thank you note. And so write down something here, just be intentional, and there is no right or wrong. Just write something. And for you to just start getting more and more intentional, you will become clearer as you start doing this, that you'll see by usually the third month, it's just amazing. You'll just be amazed at how, when you're done with this two hours, that you'll just feel relief and you'll feel so grounded about you and your life that you'll just love, so excited about for that month to begin, that because now you got it and you're living in that green zone, okay, being deliberate and doing it non-urgently, you investing the time in order to say the way that you want it and to say, first of all, with your family and home. Then financial and career. And now we'll get to some more financial and career things, but maybe this is just a bigger goal on, I want to allow $10,000 every month, this month, into my experience. Again, don't be way out there to where if you've only been making $5,000 that, and you want to say $10,000, you can do that as long as you allow it, but maybe you just want to say $7,500 right now, okay? We know the goal is that you want at least six-figure income, okay? That there's plenty of money. That money is good. Money equals freedom. Money means more variety, more choices. So my goodness, absolutely, I want to be able to do it. You give people more jobs by the things that when you have money, you buy other things. You give people jobs. I'm telling you that, money is just so good. And as you're thriving with money, that everybody else is thriving. You're helping all kinds of other people. Or it might be financial and career. I'm going to close 3 homes, or whatever that number is. Again, but if you're used to closing 1 and you say I'm going to close 5 homes, probably your thermometer's not going to allow that per se, but do whatever's comfortable with you. I have had people go from about a half a home per month to, I guess the highest was 12 homes in 1 month, and right away, like the next month. And, but if you're doing a couple homes right now, that to say 5, double your business. Hey, I love the idea. I love the idea of doubling my business. I love the idea. Maybe write down that to be easier on yourself is I love the idea to double my business. And so again, we're looking just at May for the next 2 months, weeks. But if you look at June, that, yeah, I love the idea of doubling my business, doubling my income, doubling my closing. And I'm sharing with you, you each have the power to do that. With God, all things are possible. And do you think God can, double your income, double your business? Absolutely. And anything else that you want. And you're the one that calls it forth. The third area, so write down something financial career. The third area is mental and educational. And so I would recommend in the next 2 weeks, and what you do, again, we're going to be completing, next week and going through an amazing thing on emotions and the scale of emotions for you to understand exactly where you are with your point of attraction. But on this mental educational, that what I would do is I would get into my material. I would listen to this recording 6 times. I'll be sending you Prioritizing My Life, that MP3. And so, just getting into that, and I would be doing this. I would really get into this monthly planning, and really, and if you want to, for right now, don't even put a date as far as what month or whatever. Just start getting clear in these areas of what do I want in these areas. And so again, mental educational, that you may want to become a broker. You may want to become a power real estate agent. But right now, that I'd like you to maybe we can all write down mental and educational. I want to be a deliberate creator. That I've been a creator, but I want to be even more so of a deliberate creator now, that leading edge creator. And I know I was born that way. It's just I got all these different beliefs and these different thoughts that I accepted as the truth about me and the way life works. And now I'm just going to blow that right out of the water. And I'm going to release that cork that I'm holding down in the stream of abundance. And I'm going to release that. I'm going to float right to the top of that stream of abundance. And I'm going to go downstream where all my desires are. So mental and educational, write that down. And then physical and health. And so, what do you want to do? Like, and again, these have to be inspired. You can't just say, well, I'm going to work out 3 times a week, and you're thinking, man, I really don't want to work out 3 times a week. So yeah, you really have to be inspired on this. So, be thinking if, easy little things. And so I'm going to share with you 3 steps, the only 3 things you need to do with health. You don't have to do any about this. You got to eat this or, whatever that. There's just 3 things to health, and maybe you want to write those 3 things down right now. That the first one and the most important is to have good feeling thoughts. Remember, stress is dis-ease, okay? And dis-ease gives me dis-ease and sickness and illness. You have over 300 trillion cells that are naturally flowing with source. They're calling for source, and source is coming to them. Their consciousness, if you will. But you have the power with your mind in order to control those consciousness, those 300 trillion cells within your body. And I'm sharing with you, this is the truth. This is how it works. And so when you're at ease, you're allowing all of your cells, your entire body, in order to flow with source. And as you call source, the source flows freely to you, and that there is no dis-ease, and that there is health. And so that comes from good feeling thoughts. So, and just to be clear on what are good feeling thoughts? Hey, it's when I read the Joy Shop. It's when I write down what I desire. It's when I write down what I appreciate. It's when I write down what I pre-pave during the day. Okay, that's the Joy Shop. But it's also just a cool exercise. And then if you join my coaching, that you'll be in the inner circle. And this month, it's going to be about how that some real live exercises to write down about, like, for example, what pleases me? What do I like? What is working? Those are all good feeling thoughts. And if you just disregard all the other thoughts that you've been trained to have, and that other people have, and that other people come to you, and you just focus in on your good things, that the people that come to you will be better now. And so you literally control your experience to include the people and so whatever point of attraction you are based on your good feeling thoughts, are the same similar people are going to come into your experience. And so it doesn't matter if you've known them before and they haven't been good, that they will be now, if you will, and very harmonious and uplifting. And then you're going to have new people. And people that, at the restaurant, just the friendly waiter, wow, I just love the friendly waiter. That, how does that happen? How do you attract it? Well, you attract whatever your vibration is. And so good feeling thoughts. So under physical and health, under the 3 points, number 1 is good feeling thoughts. The second one is deep breathing. And so to deep breathing is typically about 5 seconds in and then 5 seconds out. I like to use the mouth because you can breathe in more oxygen. And what that does is that brings into your body spirit and this oxygen, that the more oxygen that you have in your body, the healthier you are. And so you want to open up your mouth and breathe in. And when I do a meditation every afternoon, I do it in the morning too, but in the afternoon, that at the end of that meditation, I then breathe in, and I like 3, that Father, Son, Spirit, Holy Spirit, that mind, body, soul. That 3 is just a good spiritual one. And so I go by 3s, and usually I breathe in deeply 9 times like that, and I am just tingling all over, and I'm just inviting good health to me. So physical and health, again, number 1, good feeling thoughts, then deep breathing. And, the rule of thumb is that if you don't do thinking or breathing for at least 1 minute, that you're not creating the energy for it. So you need to do 1 minute, at least 1 minute, to start flowing the energy. Ideally, 15 minutes to be thinking about good feeling thoughts. So, for example, the Joy Shop, or doing a meditation. And part of my coaching too is I have meditations that I will send you, and there's a joy shop meditation, there's a prosperity meditation, a health, in a lot of these different categories here. I actually have meditations on, and you can switch them up then during the day and whatever. So, and what meditation does, it puts you in a state of complete allowing. You're no longer having these resistant thoughts, because you are starting to awaken and enlighten to how many resistant thoughts, how many negative, how many thoughts that are against you and what you want. You know, oh gosh, I hope this isn't another bad closing. Gosh, I hope I don't have a lot of traffic. That, gosh, I hope I don't get cancer, because you saw something on TV or whatever about cancer. That you just can't be, whatever you think about grows. And again, I write that down again, that whatever I think about expands in my life. So I can't be saying I don't want such and such, because it puts you right down into hell about thinking about such and such. So you want to just be thinking about the things that you want. So the third point on physical and health, so number one, good feeling thoughts. Number two, deep breathing. And the third one is to drink lots of water. And so you can drink tap water. It's just fine. In fact, you know, I travel the world all the time. I go to Russia in July, and I just love experiencing. And, you know, this is just an adventure, a journey. Just let's enjoy this, lighten up. And so, and so in my travels around the world, that I see a lot of countries that have bad teeth. And the reason why that is, and you probably don't know, that the United States has the best teeth in the world. Why is that? Because in our public water is fluoride. And so they're telling you all this stuff about, you know, tap water or whatever. My middle son, he's a scientist, and he said he drinks regular water. And I mean, he knows there aren't minerals. I mean, all that other water doesn't have, you know, as good. But if you want, you know, bottled water, I'm not keeping you go ahead, just drink water, okay? But don't be concerned about if there isn't bottled water around. That just go ahead. There wasn't any bottled water around, you know, 50 years ago, Coke came out. They just take bottled water and they put it through a filter. You know, it's regular city water, and then they call it something, and we're paying all this money for this water that's just bottled water that's quote unquote filtered. And so, but that's the three, and don't get too carried away with that whole thought. Drink whatever kind of water you want. But point is, drink lots of water. Like, I don't have any caffeine. I just stay away. I just drink water. And so I love that, and so that's how to have good physical health. And again, I'm looking younger. I just met someone, I guess this week, and they said, God, you look, you know, younger. And here, I just had an operation a couple weeks ago, and that, you know, it's just like, oh, I just love on my health, and I'm feeling better. I'm feeling right now, I feel better than I can remember. And, you know, and basically the age that I like is about 17 years old. And so that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about getting older, okay, or whatever. That I just think about I'm getting healthier and healthier. And so I feel great. And that's the whole thing on all of this, is to feel good, okay? And that's my body spirit, to feel good. And you have the steps in order to do that. Okay, so exciting, and let's go to the next area, and that's social and cultural. You know, each one of you are just so blessed. I mean, you have, for all, you know, for if you look at the world, as far as where you are with your health, you're healthier than most people in the world. With your wealth, you make more money than most people in the world. I met a guy, I'm coaching with a guy that said, oh man, we're really struggling, you know, we got some money problems, and, you know, we can't do everything that we want, and, you know, and tell me all this stuff about what they don't want, okay, which would, you know, build more of it. And I just had helped him. He had worked with me just for one session, played with me, you know, one coaching session. He decided to do my platinum coaching. He did. And within 1 week, he increased his base salary by over 30%. And like, and he comes to me the following 2 weeks later, and he says, "Oh yeah, we don't have enough money and everything." And I said, "Well, your wife works too, and so how much do you make?" They make $200,000 a year, and they don't have enough money. And you see on how we are so used to it. It doesn't matter how much we have or what, we have everything that we want. And if you just enjoy what you have, that will open it up to having the things that you desire. But we sit around having troubling thoughts and we make it up. This guy made up, he doesn't have enough money. What are you talking about? Making $200,000. So anyways, we have all been blessed. And for any of you that are making six figures, you're in the top 1% in the history of the world of income. So please don't be saying about how tough you have and you don't have enough money, because then you'll start not having enough money. And to be grateful and so appreciative of everything that you have. And so then it's to look back at social and culturally on what can you give back. And number one, for you to thrive, you'll help all socially, culturally. But you may want to be more involved in your church, or you may want to be more involved, a friendlier neighbor. That you may want to just be an open heart with all people. There's nothing to be guarded about. You were taught from a child to be guarded, and you don't have anything to be guarded about. You are just fine. You created from within you out. And so now that you understand all of this, that you say, yeah, I'm going to let go of this. I'm going to just be vulnerable. I'm going to be who I really am. I'm not going to hide or try to be this way or whatever. I'm the Hankers. And I tell people, the Dr. Hank is a nickname, and it's a fun thing. But you can call me whatever you want to. And people, by the way, will call me really nice things because I'm really nice, and that's what I attract. And I say that to myself, like I love the word kind. That I love being kind. And you know who I'm kind to first out of everyone is me. And I want you to be kind to you. And so be kind, be loving, and just think about, as I'm kind, that then now go beyond that and then just be kind to other people. That's all you need. Have an open heart. Actually, all of you have a little boy and a little girl standing in front of your heart, guarding it. And I'd like you to, and I had a 17-year-old soldier, because that's when I went into the military, and I'm a Vietnam vet, and I have that 17-year-old soldier standing at attention, used to be standing at attention, guarding my heart, and I'm sharing with you, every one of you have that little boy, that little girl within your heart, and what I want you to do is to go, and it's actually a military term, but to go into your heart and that little boy, that little girl, and to say, at ease. Okay, and so in the military it's at ease. And so, be easy. And so I have my soldier, I said, you know what? You can take a break now. Why don't you rest in my heart? Why don't you just be comfortable? Enjoy. And I'm so appreciative. Now, there's a little resistance there, because they say, hey, you needed me all this time. And I said, yeah, and I'm okay now. I got it handled. I got it managed. That you can rest in my heart now, and then ask for your heart to open. And if you start asking for your heart to open, that you're going to see so much love in yourself and in the world that it's going to just knock your socks off. So think about, I'm going to open up my heart. So social and cultural, that's how to open up your heart. And then finally, spiritually and ethically. And so what do you want? I was asked, actually by Larry, that he asked me on, what do I mean by source? And well, it's not what I was brought up with. I was brought up with, it's God, some guy in heaven who's, judging me, and he's probably got gray long hair and a big G on his front or whatever. And so I realized it's just this loving energy. and that we have the power to, through our thoughts and our good feelings, in order to manage that energy to the things that we want, and it just makes our source so happy. So we have that inner being within us that that wants everything that we want, but we have to be clear on what we want, and this is the path to that. You are lighting up your path right now. It just feels so excited about that, knowing that, yeah, I'm lighting up my path. And just feel like, if you can, just relax, just be at ease, and be soft. Be soft with yourself. This isn't a hard road. This is a soft road, okay? And to be soft, and just start opening up yourself and feeling your source walking before you. And so after we're done with this webinar, when you get up, just feel your source in front of you, just opening up doors of opportunities of all the things that you want. Isn't that sweet? Okay, 2-minute break. Because we're through that, and then we're going to finish up with our top personal and business goals, and or our business goals, and then our top personal and business goals and high payoff activities. And so 2 minutes right now. It's 11:30, so let's just do 11:32 again. Just stretch, just relax, just kind of shake it out a little, because our attention can only hold about this long. And so I want you to come back all refreshed and ready to go for some just more powerful information. So 2 minutes. All right. That I'm right now looking out the window and looking at the beautiful clouds. It's a beautiful spring day here in Dallas. That white cotton ball clouds, looking at the blue sky, looking over a beautiful forest from my condo. And, you know, there's just so much beauty in the world. And so for you to be looking for that. And so we will begin now. Here we go with to wrap up this just amazing way to prioritize your life and how to really call it the way that you want it. And I can feel that in your hearts and your minds and your souls. It's something I did in my joy shop this morning, for you to be enlightened by this and to really start getting it on how life works, and just to have that clarity on this is how life works. And so let us go to our business goals to focus on this month. And so I want you to write down now, what do you want to do? And again, if you want to go into June on this, but so let me give you some ideas and business goals to focus on this month. They could be that I want to attract. In fact, when I was speaking with Paula, Paula had sold all her listings and everything. Like, everything's just going great. She signed a couple contracts already today. That, her life, she's on a magic carpet ride, and so are all of us on our magic carpet ride. We just need to say, that's where I want to be, and then you'll be on that magic carpet ride. And so it's all fun, and I want you to just enjoy your life. And so Paul would say, yeah, and so I have to attract, listings. And exactly. So what do I call for? There isn't pressure, or, there's plenty of listings, okay? That it's all a matter of I'm going to attract, and so I'd like to attract, and maybe in the next 2 weeks you say I'd like to attract 2 listings. So maybe that's something you write down. And again, you need to feel good about it. If 2 is too specific for you, that you just say, I want to attract listings now. And so whatever feels good, because if you don't feel good, that you have resistance towards that, because know that you make it up. The only enemy there is your resistant thoughts. That's it. There are no other enemies. In fact, everything is working on your behalf, other than sometimes us. And so we want to just stop being our own enemy, and we're going to start just allowing well-being to come in, and allowing, what is that well-being? Hey, that's 2 listings. I'd like to attract 2 listings. So that's one thing you could write down. Other business goals to write down, it might be, and again, I'm just calling forth from the universe right now, infinite intelligence, and I'm saying, what else, as a real estate agent, what else do I want? You know what I want to do? I want to attract this week at least one more referral partner. And so that, by golly, that sounds like a great idea. I love that idea. Yeah, I want to attract 1 ideal referral partner. I want to close a deal out of the blue. So I'm doing top performers in another class, and this one lady, she's relatively new, didn't have any business, and or she is new, like she started, I guess, maybe a month ago in real estate, and so I shared with her, and she just right away went into my coaching. So she's doing my platinum coaching, and so we were together, and I was sharing with her on, she needed money right away, and I said, great, why don't you just have that you get a listing right out of the blue, and then you get a buyer that buys it for cash. And she just allowed it. She just allowed those words to go into her. And within 2 weeks, she got a listing within 2 days. Within 2 weeks, there was a cash buyer, and they closed last Friday. In 2 weeks, they had closed a deal that she wanted more cash, and she got more cash within 2 weeks. And so that's how easy life is. But you got to allow it in. She just accepted that idea. She loved that idea, and she believed, and she had faith in God, okay, the faith of God, knowing that, hey, I believe that, and I can have that. And she went ahead and allowed it, and she got that money. So can you. So what other things do I want? I want ideal clients. And maybe you want to write down what an ideal client is, that they're motivated. They love me. I love them. They do as I suggest. You want to be really clear on who you want to attract now into your business. I want ideal referral partners that are well connected, that give me regularly on a consistent, easy, regular basis, that they give me my ideal clients. So my ideal clients are clients that, buy $200,000 or more homes, that have good credit, have plenty of cash, that do as I suggest, that, you just start going into calling forth what you want. If you don't call it forth, you'll never get it coming to you. But when you start calling forth, and especially when you start calling, because then it becomes fun, when you start calling forth what you want, like ideal clients, like ideal referral partners, then what happens is that not only what you call forth, but it's even better. It's like amazing clients. Like that client that I just shared with you on that happened with Julie, that Julie went with that buyer, in that they just loved her, and it wasn't her buyer, okay, it was listed, but they just loved her, and they gave her a referral. And so now, so it just got better and better. They got a referral from the buyer on the other side of the transaction. And so you just start calling it the way you want it. So business goals to focus on. I want you to think about that. And that I'm sharing with you, if you're writing down, I'm going to spend $500 on, whatever website in order to get more leads or whatever, that if you're inspired to do that and that feels good, but you don't need any money in order to track all and everything that you want. Okay, the ideas, the inspired ideas will give you, a source will give you in order to do inspired actions. And that, I don't think I shared with you guys, but when I did have this, this operation, that for 6 weeks I can't go and play in, which is work out, but I can't do my yoga and all the stuff that I normally do, and I had to really sit quiet, and that's tough for me because I got so much life flowing through me. I just want to do all kinds of life. So I just sat down and I said, I want to increase my revenues by at least, which I get revenues in a couple different, or lots of different ways, and but one of the ways is I have retainer fees, and I was looking at it, and so I just said I want to increase my revenues by 25%, and so within 24 hours, I had thought of an idea that created all kinds of value to everybody, and it increased my revenue by 25%. And all I was doing was sitting around thinking and feeling. And so people say, hey, what do you want me to do? Just sit around, think and feel? Yeah, pretty much so. And I even have to kind of slow myself down once in a while and quit doing, and then just slow down, identify what I want, and then call it forth and expect the universe to deliver it to me. So those are business goals to focus on this month, and that gives you hopefully a good idea, good inspiring idea of those business goals to focus on month. Now, this is where the prioritizing comes in. You have listed now your top personal goals and then your top business goals. And again, we're not going to take the time to go through, have you go through all of your personal goals and all of your business goals, but I do want you to write down on what is your top, out of all the things that you have written down now in this session, this amazing session and helped you get more and more clarity about the things that you want, that what is the top thing? And just let it rise up to the top and write it down. And it can be either personal or business. But what's the main thing that you want in the next 2 weeks or in June, but we're kind of doing this as a pilot. In the next 2 weeks, what's the main thing that really just makes your heart sing? What's the thing that you really like to do? And I want you to write that down on what your top personal and or business goal is. And then when we get off the phone here, since it's fresh, and this webinar, then I would suggest that you actually fill out the rest of this and go into what is my top personal and business goals, that I want to do. So this is the art of prioritizing now and really getting clear on what are the main things. You brainstorm all the different things now that you want personally and professionally, and then what are the top things that just rise to the top and just be easy, enjoy yourself, be soft with all of this. Then I want to get into high payoff activities, and we had talked this about in our second session on high payoff activities, but here is where you can really get focused in. I'll tell you, one of the reasons why I more than double people's business on virtually every mentee that I have, that I work with, that and one of the keys here is that on high payoff activities, most people are engaged about 30% of their time in high payoff activities and 70% in low payoff activities. So to get really clear on what your high payoff activity is, and so your number one, and you should know what it is right now, your number one high payoff activity is Joy Shop, pre-paving, monthly planning. So it is Joy Shop, and then pre-paving my day, my week, my month, and my life. And when I say week, typically that's on, so we know on how to do the day that, you do the Joy Shop and prepave your day, that the week, typically on Sunday night, you would want to prepave your week, and basically that's looking at your week on what you need, because otherwise the committee will get a hold of it and say, oh, it's going to be a really busy, tough, rough week. Well, guess what just happened? You're going to get a busier, rougher, tougher week. Nothing has to be busy, rough, or tough. That you're the one that calls it, and from now on, it's going to be easy. It's going to be a fun week. It's going to be an exciting week. And so there really is never that unless you call it forth. And so you want to call forth what you want. So that's high payoff activity number one. In business, high payoff activity number two would probably be meeting with referral partners. And then the third high payoff activity would be meeting with those prospects, with those clients. Okay. The fourth one is follow up, and so doing the contract, going to the closing, all of that. And then the fifth one is closing and asking for referrals. And so, again, pretty easy. That's really most real estate agents, that's their high payoff activities, and they have $1 million businesses because of it. And it's because of these referral partners, but most so because they create it the way they want it. I was working with, playing with, if you will, one of my mentees yesterday, and we met, and they said, God, I've made so much money, and like, I just get overwhelmed. Like, I call off the business and say, oh, this is too much, and then I don't get enough business. And I said, exactly that. Quit calling it, oh, I got too much business now. There are always solutions, and I have a whole host of solutions, from virtual, assistants. I have 400 agents I can give you to, help you with whatever you're doing. I mean, there are solutions to everything. And what I want you to do is no longer be a problem solver, but a solution seeker and asking for what is the solution. So when you're too busy, there is no such thing as too busy. Then you're flowing abundance, and then you want to manage that my number one agent that I have that makes lots of money, I bet half the time he's in Las Vegas. And he's in, of all places, Corpus Christi, and he's in Vegas half the time. And spending a lot of money on gambling and stuff. And so, I'm working with him and saying, hey, as long as you're having fun, go have fun. But so he could call himself busy, but he has now 12 agents under him that do most of the work. And he just, provides the expertise, the guidance, the, whatever, the referrals from referral partners. So, dream big. Just dream about what kind of empire do you want, and just know it's one step at a time. Everything is coming to you in perfect portions at the perfect time. Okay? So that's high payoff activities, and so hopefully you wrote down all of those. And then also I want you to look at, in the next 2 weeks, what imperative project lists or important project lists you have. Now, I would counsel you that you never want to be on that left side, because that's being urgent. On imperative project lists, I have to do it. You'll never have imperative project lists as you become deliberate now and intentional on your planning. And so you'd like to do important project lists, but for right now, you probably have some imperative things that go ahead on what are those things that I need to do, either personally or professionally, that I want to do, either imperative project lists I want to get done by the end of May, or important project lists. I'd like to do that in order to move me even to higher and bigger, better things that I can do, and have. And so, those could be as easy as cleaning out a closet, developing, a whole empire of agents working for you, or with, I like saying with you, and so I love building team leaders where, you can be this power agent. And so if that's what tickles you, if that doesn't tickle you, be whatever you want to be. You can earn lots of money with being however you want to do it, and you can have all the things that you want to be doing you can have, but it's a matter of you calling forth, what do I really like? And for you to really start internalizing on what do I like. Okay, the final one is the 1 to 31 tracking sheet. And this one is just great that you can see under this that this is, there's 1 to 31 for each day. And this tracking sheet is mainly for what thoughts you want every day, and then also what actions, inspired actions that you want to do every day. So it could be under personal or business goals, but I would recommend that you put down Joy Shop as number 1. And so because these are daily, monthly planning, you would put in like at your month at a glance. Again, I have a whole time management system that you can have with my Platinum Coaching. But to be able to, look at, that's just put in a monthly, that's a 2-hour thing, and you wouldn't put it on the 1 to 31 because the 1 to 31 is for every day or several times per week. What do you want to make sure you're either thinking or doing? So personal goals, Joy Shop. So today is the 14th. So what you would do is under personal goals, put down, it could be business goals too, because you're doing really both in that, but put down Joy Shop, and then if you did the Joy Shop this morning, put a check mark there. If you didn't, put a dash mark there, okay? Now other personal goals might be that I want to meditate every day. I want to do deep breathing every day for a minute, 5 minutes. The more, the better for you. And so just be easy with yourself. And again, you'll start getting more and more clear on what those personal goals are and what you want those to be. And so you can either put a number in there. So if you did 5 minutes, under the 14th, you did 5 minutes of meditating, you put right down a little 5 there. Okay? And then under business goals. So what I would suggest is that you plan every day. And what that is at the end of the day, you would actually plan on and pre-pave a little. It's similar to the Joy Shop, but this is looking at, hey, what am I doing tomorrow? And so at the end of the day, saying, well, what am I doing tomorrow? And then already start pre-paving on how you want it to be. Wow, I'm going to have an amazing session with Dr. Hank today or tomorrow. This were last night. I'm going to have an amazing session. It's going to just get me more enlightenment. It's going to empower me more. I'm going to just feel more in control, more that I am the commander, that I'm the conductor, that I have this whole symphony in front of me, and that when I raise my magic wand, and it's not in my hand, it's in my head, and that when they are all paying attention, and then I go to it, and with my thoughts I go to it, and all the whole symphony of cooperative components of all there is there, abiding, yielding to my every desire, to my every thought and what I want. And so just think of that. Can you visualize that? And that's who you are, the magnificent creator. And if you pre-paved that that's how you wanted this session to be, then that's how this session is for you. And so by you being just so deliberate and just loving to plan your days, and that you have a listing tomorrow, a listing appointment tomorrow, you just plan it, it's going to just go great. I'm going to love it. They're going to love it. They're going to be so easy. They're going to love signing up with me. They're going to understand it. I'm going to have the perfect thoughts, words, and behaviors and deeds to give them that is just going to make them melt. They're going to be so happy. We're going to have open hearts. We're going to be so harmonious with each other. It's going to be uplifting. In fact, I'm going to have a fun time at that listing. You just take that 1 minute that I just did on that listing, and it's only possible to have every one of your listings happen like that. Or tomorrow, if you say for tomorrow that, hey, I expect that just some amazing, wonderful things happen in my business tomorrow, some amazing opportunities. If you be nice and general like that, you will start seeing and see through the eyes of Source just some amazing things happening and coming to you. So back to the 1 to 31 tracking sheet. So planning under business goals, planning every day. And at the end of the day, after you do a little pre-paving of tomorrow on the way you want it, then what happens is it allows your conscious mind to really get into your personal life at night. How many times have you thought about, oh, geez, I got that tomorrow. Oh, that's right. And thinking about how what you're going to say, and you're getting into the how, and just stop that. You got to turn off that committee and just say, I already got the how. I got the whole universe behind me, backing me with all the perfect thoughts that are going to just flow to me. And so I can just leave that go and I can enjoy my life. And this will give you balance now in your life. So you have the balance in order to really enjoy, instead of being, with your children and thinking about, oh, what do I got to do tomorrow? And I wonder how that's going to turn out and all that stuff. That no, you can be 100% with your children, loving, or 100% with your spouse, and just enjoying each other and talking about this. Like I would talk about all of this on what you're becoming and how you're realizing you're in control. You got it. You're it. And so under business goals then too, that I'm going to speak with 3 referrals this week or every week. And so that when you talk to a referral, you can put their initials in. So if you talk to Joe Blow, JB, then under 14, put down their initials there. And that I talked to, prospects. I followed up with clients. And so you can put literally your high payoff activities under these business goals. And then now closing, unless you have the temperature gauge off, you could have a closing. Hey, I want a closing once a week. I have one of the people that I coach with, they have had a closing 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, this week, next week, the next week. That's what they got planned with it. And they just love it. They say, hey, this is just awesome, once a week, because that was their goal. That they said, what? I really like tracking this, that every week I'm going to have one closing. Well, if you start doing that, and you start believing it and just feeling good about that. But if you don't feel good and you don't feel that really can happen to you, don't write it down yet. Just write down that every week some amazing, wonderful things will happen to you, and they will, because your source knows everything that you want, and that you're it. And so you just recognize that, and you can't lie to God, that God feels your vibration. And so you got to be feeling inspired, be feeling good about you, about your business, and about how good everything is right now, and then how much better everything is going to be. And as you expect your life to get better and better, my dear friends, my loves, that it's going to get better, okay? And I just love teaching you this, and you can feel this. This is going across the way. You can feel that you're feeling the energy, and you're saying, man, this is remarkable. I just love that, and I feel God bumps running through me, and that you now say, yeah, that I allow my source to fully run through me and give me all the thoughts and give me all the health and give me all the business that I want. You deserve it. Each of you deserve it all. And so with that, how exciting, huh? So your success steps this week include, listen to number 4, prioritizing your life at least 6 times. And so I'll be sending that to you. Complete your monthly planning. So we just went through monthly planning, and then I want you to schedule for the end of May what your monthly planning will be for June. And then I'd like you to meet with at least one new ideal referral partner this week. So just be thinking about, hey, who is that ideal, that this is what I want, is an ideal referral partner. Yesterday, I was with a mentee of mine. We just got out of coaching. And I said, listen, let's go have some fun. Let's go to this little social event we were going to, and let's have you get an ideal referral partner from this meeting. So she goes, cool, I'm open for that. Let's go have some fun. So we talked to a couple people here and there, and, it just doesn't seem to be very good. And we end up talking to a guy who's, his name is Paul, and he's just like this wonderful guy, and he has this radio show, this real estate radio show. He gets at least 10 referrals per week, and he invites her and me to be on the show. And like, that's the ideal referral partner. The guy already has 10. He's going to love us because we don't care what he has, who he has, whatever. There's plenty of everything. And so we just called forth it and it came. And that's how powerful now that you are, and that you realize, wow, I'm going to stop thinking about what I don't want and start thinking about what I do want. And then listen to this recording. That this is, I'm streaming right now, and I'm just allowing source in, and it's touching your hearts, your minds, and your souls. And so just allow that to be in. Yeah, I'm this magnificent creator. I'm allowing my well-being to come, and I know that there's cooperative components, this whole symphony that is around here that is ready and willing to do wherever I wave my magic wand, and that magic wand is in my thoughts. And then do your joy shop. Make sure you're doing your joy shop every morning, but it's not a job. It's not a struggle that you want to just can't wait to get out of bed and run to your joy shop and start creating your day the way that you want it. And so that's the attitude. And then last, contact me with any help that you may want. If you're having a hard time with some of this or not creating what some of you have been creating, then give me a call and I can help you. I'm going to also offer all of you that each of you that you can go into and join my Platinum Coaching. I'll send you a separate email with a coaching application. And so I want to make sure that we're a good fit, that you're inspired and motivated to becoming more and to having a better life, and not just in real estate, but in your life. And so if you're that person, then I will, and we'll attract each other, if you will, and I'll take you to a whole new level. Like I've shared with you before, I typically double people's business and sometimes much, much more. And I get people feeling good and have attracted good health where they had bad, their soul partners, better relationships, you name it. And so it's all yours, and I can help you on that path. You get all the credit, that I just get the influence to help you, to guide you on here your path is, and then you determine what your desires are and what your lighted path is. So with this, my friends, that we have completed now our 4th session. We have one more next week, same time, same go-to-meeting place, and I'll send you all of that. But love you guys. That it's remarkable. Just let this, if you can, have some time right now, just let it sink all in. And think about on just how amazing. I would suggest you don't share this with a lot of people because you are now immersed in it. You understand it, but people will try to draw you out of it and try to talk you out of it because they're wondering, what the hell's wrong with you? You're just so much happier. You're doing so much more business and everything. And if you tell them, well, it's because I feel good and I'm thinking good feeling thoughts, that they're going to say, come on, that's not what happened. And they're going to try to talk out of you. However, for those, though, that hey, are going to get this, share it with them. It's the good news to share with everybody that will allow it in because they, too, are leading-edge creators. So with that, I love you. Enjoy your week, and let me know if I can help you in any way. God bless. Bye-bye.